A computer keyboard is a panel or input device used to send information into a computer. It allows you to enter characters and carry out functions by pressing keys. It's probably the primary device used to enter text, although nowadays it is possible to dictate to your computer. A keyboard usually contains keys for individual letters, numbers and special characters, as well as keys for specific functions. Now I'm going to talk you through the keys on the keyboard. Firstly, why are the letters not in alphabetical order? To understand this, you need to know that the layout was developed for mechanical typewriters. Do you remember these? They have keys as well, just like a modern day keyboard. But when you press the key, a mechanical arm was moved to type the character on a sheet of paper. When you started typing fast, these arms jammed. Therefore, the current QWERTY layout became popular. The Enter key carries out a typed instruction or a selected option from a menu, sometimes called the return button, as it marks the end of a line and returns text onto a new line. Usually it's the largest key on the keyboard. The backspace button deletes or removes one character to the left of the cursor each time that you press it. The delete button is a similar button. It deletes or removes one character to the right of the cursor each time you press it. This spacebar, a long key at the bottom of all keyboards, it puts a space between characters and words. Escape. The escape button usually sits at the top left hand side of all keyboards. It cancels an instruction to the computer. It helps halt any programs that may be stuck or causing the computer to hang. The Tab key shifts the cursor to the right by a set amount. Another use for the Tab key is if you're filling in a form, it also moves the cursor to the next text entry box or location every time that you press it. The Shift key, usually a large key with an up arrow. There are usually two Shift keys on keyboards. The key is a modifier key on the keyboard. Its main purpose is to capitalize lowercase letters. When the Shift key is not being pressed, letters are entered as lowercase by default, unless the caps lock has been activated. When a user holds down the Shift key while typing a letter, the capitalized version of the letter is entered. It also allows the typing of the secondary function on those keys that have two functions. For example, number 1 and the exclamation mark, number 5 and the % function, or another one would be the / and the question mark. The caps lock key locks the letters to produce only uppercase letters. Sometimes the caps lock might have a small light to denote that the caps lock is actually turned on. Control or CTRL, oftentimes there are two of these keys on the keyboard. They provide secondary functions for almost every key on the keyboard. For example, holding down the Control key and pressing the letter C cuts text that you may have selected. Holding down the Control key and pressing the letter Z undoes the last thing you may have done on the keyboard. It's a very handy shortcut. The Alt key provides an alternative function to many keys. The arrows are very handy keys. They move the cursor up, down, to the right and left. The Windows key displays the Start menu and again has secondary functions. Along the top of the keyboard, the function keys. These keys are used to perform specific tasks. They are labelled as F1, F2, F3 and so on right up to F12. The functionality of these keys differs from program to program. Thanks for listening. I hope you learned a little bit today. Don't forget you can replay this video as often as you like.